guys, welcome to week 6 here in our journey in Saas. And I've got I just got him from the desk. So it's probably zero prepare for today's call. So I'm sorry, but this is just how it is. This is the reality of working and implementing a product, off the bat, and we're just working on it. And then all of a sudden Karen comes and let's just record, what we're doing right now. So Daniel with me, hey. I would love for you to quickly introduce yourself and, what you're doing here at Hite. Sure. And so we can get started on our week 6 of, what happened with Saas.
So, working previously with CRM, a lot of experience with a lot of agencies, a lot of projects. That was awesome. That was pretty awesome. Working with several different processes. That was pretty awesome. And of course, the CRM, getting to know all the changes that were going on, all the new features for the platform. That was pretty awesome, right? So, went from working for specific projects, specific clients, to now do something a lot bigger than that, which is the Saas project. When I heard it the first time, it was actually pretty exciting. I would have never imagined that I was going to be part of a project. So it was good news, definitely. It was great news when I became part of the project. Now, what I'm doing is I'm pretty much in charge of everything that has to do with the technical part, with the process. We're developing the process as we go. That's an exciting part. One of the things that we love the most, or one of the things that I believe it's key for success, it's understanding the process. Even before you start building anything in the platform, I believe if you understand the process, then we can build in it's a piece of cake later on. So I'm the one in charge of coordinating with you, with all the other team members, what the process is going to look like and how to implement it. We put it in place, we test it out, and then we modify as we go. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, I love it. It has been definitely a ride for us. And the cool thing is, as you mentioned, is that we are, taking exactly what we're learning on a daily basis, because we're meeting every morning with Abraham, and it's okay, what do we do the day before? Mm-hmm. What do we have to focus on today? And we're continue to modify and things. And we find new things every day, right? For example, we just found, in our checkout form, we needed to make a quick update, but it's just that user friendliness and just making sure that everybody is able to have a good experience, even when they're signing up. I think that's very important. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yes.
And just to do a little recap of the things that we've been working on. Mm-hmm. So we worked on first the flow, right? Yes. So can you tell me anything that you found that was, and when I say, guys, the flow, I'm talking about, setting up the automations for our process, right? So as soon as somebody was going to sign up, they needed to first have a landing page, we needed to have a form, and we did discuss in our previous video, or 2 videos ago, actually, on how, Monte was creating the landing page and what were some of the topics there. But I would love to know, you were implementing the actual automations, within the system. So we're using Hite CRM to do our own automations when it comes to signing people up. When you were creating that workflow, was there anything in there that you found that was an obstacle or a little bit challenging that maybe you want to share?
Well, not challenging. I think the awesome part about this, just like you said, it's a team, So the part of building the actual landing pages and all of that, I had to coordinate with the person that was in charge of that, and then making sure that I was connecting the right landing page for the right owner to go to do the right thing within the workflow.
Yeah, because we have the franchises, so that's a little bit different. Yeah.
So we call them entry points, right? So we have 11 different entry points plus the general one. So making sure that we would coordinate everything. Then we found out that it was not only about making sure that we were getting the right lead from the right landing page, but on top of that, we wanted to know who it is, because that's going to help us throughout the whole process. So a couple of things. We had to do a tag in custom fields to know who's the owner, who's the franchisees that this person is coming from, right? And then second, another good thing is now we wanted to know what this person signed up for. And then we have one product, but this one product has different, so we have different plans for that product. So that was something else that we needed to figure out how to do it. We thought about a manual option for that.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
I remember, and I was the one to propose that, because I was like, maybe in the beginning we're not gonna have that many signups, and so that's another cool thing that we've experienced this week. It was a week of rollout, and we already have I don't know how many onboardings, sessions already and demos, and we're gonna touch upon that in a little bit. But, like, I'm glad that you came up with a solution for
Yeah.
the automation, because that would have been probably just more of a hassle.
More of a hassle. So a couple of things. We want to track what's the franchisees they're coming from and what's the plan they have. For a couple of things. Number one, a very simple one, which is notifications. We want the team to be notified at all times. So whenever we have a new sign up, whenever we have a person that already start paying for the service, we have a communication channel, so we want everyone to know. That will create the whole hype of people starting to sign up. That's one thing. So I wanted to automate. Hey, we have a new sign up. This is the name. This is the franchise owner who talked to this person, and this is the plan that this person is going to pay.
And we send that on Slack.
Send that on Slack.
So they all know. And we also a little bit of like a thought process there. We're like, okay, how do we notify people? And we were like, okay, what is a cool way to just be able to share it with everybody, but also sort of create that competition, right? Like we do have franchisees and they are selling, and I mean, it's like a friendly competition because we're a family, but it's cool to see, okay, what is that person doing? And then people that are being more successful with selling SaaS, then we can see, okay, maybe we can bring them to talk more of what is their approach. And we love doing that in the franchise model, because everybody can learn a little bit of what everybody else is doing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that part, the communication part, that was awesome. Then the other part is we need to track. We need to track data. It's super important for us. One of the things that we usually talk when we're talking to a new client or something is our CRM has dashboards, and you could see data, you could see charts and all of that. We also want to track that internally and also in the dashboard. So since we know where the lead is coming from and what this person is paying, we could come up with charts, with reports that would help us a lot in the process. Yeah,
that is true. And it also helps you because you're actually the face to the people that are getting onboarded, right? And so when somebody signs up, Daniel's actually the person that is welcoming, our users and guiding them through the whole process. So I'm really excited because I feel like you're very, focused on, you're very service oriented, and I really enjoy, that's why we enjoy working with you, because I think that's just something, a characteristic that you have. Now, before we even go to those onboarding sessions, we have the demos, right?
Yeah.
And so that has been also a topic, we've been doing demos, I've been doing a few. I wanted to quickly discuss, what are some of the approaches, what we're doing right and what we could improve as well, because I know we've been talking about that. And I wanted to share with everybody because, not every person that is selling SaaS is a major salesman, and they know the ins and outs. So you do have to, even if you are, there's a little bit of a preparation that you need to have, right? So what are some of the things that you think, maybe let's focus on what we're doing right? You can mention a few. I know a few as well that I would like to mention, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
What we're doing right, first of all, we have a deck, that helps us a lot. That will help me a lot. It would give me a guide of what I'm talking about. I think something that we're implementing right now, it's kind of have a process for that. What's that conversation is going to sound like? What is it that we should expect? And I think one of the main things that we're doing right now is what you did yesterday on that call. Is let's try to find out what this client is looking for.
Yeah.
And once we know what their needs are, since we are experts on the features that we have for them, then now let's match that and offer what they're really interested in. So I think that's probably. I'm sure we can improve more things, but I think we have a solid presentation for that demo. And I'm not talking about the actual digital presentation, but the actual interaction, the presentation that we have with them. I think that's very good, good. So it goes hey, what do you need? Okay, awesome. Now this is what we can offer for you. And then here's a couple of other things that you might not need right now, but we think you can use them at all. Yeah. One thing I would say, demo is not meant to be super technical. It has to be general, because I could go very deep into details about how it works, the whole workflows, the triggers, in all the actions and all of that. But it's meant more for the franchisee's owner, for example, to be able to just present the product, general. Why? Because then the specifics are going to come when we go to the onboarding calls.
Yeah.
So,
and it happens also with products like PPC. I mean, we do give audits, and that's one of the sort of interactions where we're doing we're selling PPC. But at the end of the day, you're not building a campaign with them, before they sign up, right? So I agree what you're saying. That it should be sort of a presentation of what we're focusing on. And the reason why I also like to ask them, like what are they experiencing, why they're even thinking about a CRM, who they're actually talking to, because like most people, they didn't just go for like, okay, I'm talking to you about a CRM, I'm gonna go with you, like they're normally doing some research, right?
Right.
And so it's important to see what benefits, they're going to be able to find in other systems and what benefits we can provide. And let's see, they're good to have and they're must-haves. So that way, like maybe like the balance will go more for ours instead of any of the other ones. So like that's one of the reasons why. And it also helps us to understand, by asking these questions of like, okay, where are you struggling in your business? And I love when people are sharing, after they've been in business for a few years, because it's not like, oh, I'm just getting started, so I need a CRM, like, okay, then Hite CRM is probably, a no-brainer for you.
Right.
But I love to like know more about those people that are like already in business and like struggling with like, oh, I need some dashboards, because then we can actually see, okay, where we're going to be very benefited by the tool.
Yes.
So that's very cool. In terms of like things that we could do better, I think I'm going to name a few. So like we were just talking, because we like honestly like we already have several products at Hite, and adding another product, like people already are like in their like sort of like path, like I'm focusing on PPC, I'm focusing on SEO, so like we're having like to pull people from different departments, right? So it's a little bit challenging, but exciting as well. But part of that is that like whenever we were jumping into the demos, I noticed that I felt like I wasn't prepared, even though I've implemented this system, and you have implemented it as well for like several agencies, and I know CRMs in general. I wanted to be more prepared in terms of like being able to show them exactly what like they could do, right? And so, and it's kind of like it's kind of challenging, because the calls would be like very long, as you mentioned, if we show all the features. So that's why we sort of have to focus. But I think this week I've learned that, like let's start preparing those cases or those scenarios. Like, so whenever somebody is struggling with, having one place where they can see all communications or being able to segment data, we have exactly what we can show them just in an easier way, instead of like having to create the context. So like we found some tools out there that are going to help us to, create some contacts just in bulk and just fake information that would allow us to fill that out. And so that's something that I definitely want to focus on this week and the next, to like really perfect that demo. And maybe then we'll focus on like maybe doing demos for the specific niches that are going to be.
I think that's a great part. And what I would add, the only thing I would add is let's try it internally. Let's do some role plays. Because again, we could have a structure, but there's many things that we want this to be a casual conversation, a presentation in which people can find value, and that we are every single minute that we invest in that call, that we know for sure that we're doing something that's going to work for them. Not only because it's just in a presentation, it's whatever makes sense and brings value to them. So I think we could definitely start doing some role plays, and that way we can say, hey, you know what? I think we need something else here, or I think we're doing too much of this, so let's just come back to the basic or stuff like that. So I think that will be great step.
I completely agree. Now, for the onboarding sessions 1 and 2, so we've had several onboarding session 1. We're still working on because we do give them 14 days. So you have a 14-day trial with us, so you can go and play with the tool. And that's one of the things that I feel like it's most exciting about our offer, is that you don't have to like, give your soul, sign a contract, and then you don't know if it worked. Because a lot of people we were talking about yesterday, like there are some people that are very prepared, they're doing their research, they know what they want, but there's quite a few people that do not know, like what they should be expecting out of a CRM. And so until they're using it is when those questions start, like appearing. And so what a better way than having 14 days to fully test this. And then if you're not ready, if this is not, like the perfect fit for you, then you still have, like time to like sort of like back down. But if you are, if you're ready, then like you're taking advantage of that free time, right? So like in the onboarding sessions 1, so we have an SOP already, which we're sort of like testing, right? Because we are including quite a bit of information. So we're doing, maybe you can walk me through what's happening that first session.
Okay. First of all, so this is a person that already signed up. So they already have their account created. That's, the beauty of this new system is this is done automatically. We don't have to do anything. Accounts can be automatically being created without us knowing. We'll actually have a couple of notifications, but we didn't have to move a finger to do anything to create that account. Account is created now. My job is making sure that they have their credentials, that everything is working fine, that they have access to the platform. And after that, it's kind of a little bit more of, what are you doing? And I think one of my favorite questions is, what are you doing with your leads? You know, what are you currently doing with your leads? And I had an onboarding call a couple of days ago, and this person's like, you know, I have an assistant, and this person would see the lead coming from Facebook, for example, and then she would call them, you know, or she would follow up with them. And I'm like, that's great. I mean, I understand it's important to know what their process is right now, and say, you know what, this tool, we want to make your life easier. We want to make your process as automated as possible. Of course, we're not going to eliminate the interaction with the human totally, because that's necessary at some point. But we want them to invest their time only when it's necessary, right? So what the automations will do is that now the lead comes in, you don't need to have a person paying attention to that person initially. You can have all the workflows, all the automations working for you. Yeah. So in Nurture, imagine a person having to call these lead manually a few times to tell them how awesome our company is. Right now, we could have a Nurture campaign in which we can send emails, text messages. I love the voice message, the recorded messages. That makes it, you know, you record it one time, and it will be, every single new lead will get it. And that piece of, you know, the voice of a human, the owner of someone from that company, you can get it, and you can get it automatically. I think that's awesome. So in that onboarding session, it's not only looking at the very few like general stuff, but actually would probably create a new contact. We'll say, so last onboarding call I had, she's like, let's make it happen, you know? Yeah. I have one new client, she said. So can we create that contact? Let's do it. So I actually showed her how to do it. Nice. So it would be easy for me to do it. I know what to do. But I'm like, I'm going to have you doing it. I'll tell you where to go, what to do. She created the contact. Then I told her, hey, you know what? You can do appointments right here. That's one of the best things you have. So this is not the owner of the company. This is the assistant. She was the one in charge of making those phone calls. So, you know, doing the whole process manually. I'm like, you know what? You could create a calendar within the CRM. Yeah. You can link it with your Google Calendar. And then let's say you're still,
or Outlook, by the way.
Correct. Now Outlook. That's pretty awesome. Plus now we have the integration with Zoom. So it's internally. We don't even have to. You integrate your Zoom and everything's there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you could have the person on the phone, or you can have the person texting you. So, you know, I want to meet with you. And here you can go and do the appointment right there. Yeah. Then after that, if you have the workflows and everything in your plan, then we could have automations for appointment reminders. She was like, I'm doing all of this by myself. I literally have a reminder that will remind me of send the message. It's like this would save tons of time. Yeah. So onboarding session 1, generals, understanding what they have, based on what they have, this is what this tool will help you to automate and make your life easier. Yeah. And
awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's exactly what we want to do, you know, with Hite CRM. So guys, if you are interested in learning about our CRM, message us. We're on Facebook, you know, like we are in, like we have different locations as well. So like just message us or drop your comments below here in the video. We'll be happy to talk to you and to get you on a free trial. Mm-hmm. We're also going to add the link in the description as well, so you guys have access to that and you're able to like book a call with Daniel or me. You know, like we're happy to talk to you guys. And man, I'm just really excited about the next weeks. I think we have a lot to work on. But for sure, we have so many things that, you know, like can add value to business owners. Yeah. And in the following videos, we're also going to share with you some more of the technical aspects. So that way, you know, like we don't make this like super long for you guys. Daniel's going to be showing you what exactly we did in terms of the workflows internally, Fresh Desk as well, how we integrated that, how we're doing support. And so, thank you for joining us today and follow us in this journey.